I'm going to tell you how you can take this and your tablet and do some diagnostic work on your car. So stay tuned. Not that long ago I had a trouble code that came up on my car, and I wanted to show you something that was really inexpensive that you can pick up, have shipped to you right away from Amazon, and you can diagnose your car on your own without having to go to the parts store and have them do it for you. Well, here's the car, and it's an '01 Buick LeSabre. Now, I've got a couple of little trouble codes that did come up in the past, and with this tool, I was able to diagnose my problem, and you'll be able to also. So let me show you what we got going on here. Okay, now as I showed you before, this is the item that you're going to be putting into your OBD2 port, and it's called an ELM327 interface. And all you have to do is just plug this in under the dash and turn on the vehicle, and there's going to be some lights here that flash to let you know that it's doing its interface, and then you're going to access the information that this receives via Bluetooth on your tablet or smartphone. So let me go ahead and plug this in and I'll show you where it goes. Now on this car you can see there's the gas pedal and the brake pedal, and then the emergency brake pedal or the parking brake pedal. And then right above it is the OBD2 port. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this here, I'm going to plug that into it, just like that. Now since the car obviously has battery power, the light lights up saying that it is connected. Now, whenever you get it out of the vehicle, be careful not to bump it, because you may cause a problem to where you could break off your OBD2 connector, or you may damage the unit itself. Okay, so now I'm in the car, and you can see the OBD2 port has been occupied by the ELM327 interface. And I'm going to go ahead and start the car. Okay, now that I got the vehicle started, I'm going to open up my tablet. And I'm going to go to the app for the OBD2 interface, and it's called Torque. It's asking about my GPS function. I'll go ahead and hit yes. I can enable the location services, which will give me more information available to the OBD2 port.
Caution, ISA conditions.
And you can see that this is now communicating direct with my tablet as it's going berserk with all of its lights. And the condition report that I just got is based on the temperature in which this vehicle sees externally. And it's basically giving me a warning that it's icy conditions. And that's the cool thing about this, is you can access information that your vehicle may have built into it, but you might not have the features. Like, I don't have a compass in here that'll tell me, you know, the external temperature, the outside temperature. However, there are sensors on the vehicle that does that. Now, this right away you can tell is showing you the RPMs. It does quite a few things. It'll show you real-time information based on what you want it to show you. If I rev it, it revs on the gauge, and it matches what's on my tachometer over here. Now, there's so much more that's in here that this can do. It's just a really good idea. It's a good tool to have that will give you so much information. As you can see, it's reading vacuum, it's reading coolant temperature, of course speed as you drive down the road, how much throttle the accelerator is reading when you press on it. Of course your acceleration in G's, you can do that. And then the RPMs, like I said before. So there's a lot of things that this can do, a lot more than what I'm showing you here. And the nice thing about it is, if you want to, you can make this display in reverse. You can make these gauges quite a bit bigger. And with that, you can lay this on your dashboard at night and turn up the brightness of your tablet or smartphone, and you can make it display on the windshield like a heads-up display. So there's a lot of nice things that you can do with this, in addition to just troubleshooting and diagnosing what's going on with your vehicle. Like I said, there's quite a few features on here, quite a few gauges that I don't even have added. In addition to information about the vehicle, you can also use this for information about a trip, which if you do the map view, it'll show you what it looks like and where you're at. And as you're driving down the road, it will show you driving down the road. And it'll give you different color codes on how fast you're going based on this graph here. And it's really cool that you can actually trace where you've been. You could use this as a logging device. If you wanted to, you could get an extension cable and run this OBD2 up in the dash to where whoever's driving the vehicle didn't see it, like your kids. And then you can turn your tablet on, make sure it has good power, and make sure that it has a long-lasting power source from maybe a power port. And then you can log where your kids have been in case you're wondering how fast they've gone and if they've sped. You don't need to pay for a service. This will do it for you. And of course, this does fault codes for diagnostic. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you can just tap that. It'll ask you to tap here to scan for faults or press menu for more options. Let's go ahead and do that. It's asking for the fault codes. It says it may take some time, but it's going relatively quick. 21%, 22%. I'll wait till it gets at 100% here. All right, you can see then whenever it went to 100%, it says no fault codes found in the ECU. There are plugins that you can get, and it's different types of apps. And for the most part, this comes with quite a bit of stuff. This is currently the installed plugins, and all this was relatively cheap. It wasn't expensive at all. So there you have it. Here's the device. There's so many things that you can do. I didn't want to go into any more detail than what I already had because there's just too much to show you, and keeping this video at a reasonable length. By now you should be able to decide if that's something that you would like to try out. So I wanted to show you then the app, and this is on Google Play for Android, but this is also available for your iPad and your iPhone. It's called OBD Check Torque Lite, and it's a free app. And of course, whenever you click this, it just goes ahead and syncs with your compatible Android.
Pops a dent and ding repair kit. Contents include a glue gun, 2 large long glue sticks, a handle, 3 different posts with bases, a turning knob, and a plastic pick to help remove any glue. The instructions in a nutshell are: heat up your glue gun for 5 minutes. Apply glue to the base that best fits your dent. Let the base, and then stick it onto your car in the middle of the dent. Let it set for 8 minutes. Then put the base through the hole in the handle. Put the turning knob on the other end, and basically just tighten the knob to pull out the dent. For larger dents, you're to position the base like at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and pull out the dent multiple times. If you have to reapply the glue and pull it out for extra large dents, you just keep doing it until you get the desired results. I'm heating my glue gun up for 5 minutes. I actually have a few dents. I have one right here. I've cleaned this area, and it's right on the crease, so I'm thinking I'll try to pull right above it and right below the crease. And then I have where like a car hit me. It's actually 2 small dents here. I don't know if you can see them. So I'm going to pull here and here. 5 minutes, so I'm going to apply glue to the base. And the instructions say make sure you cover all the holes. Now I'm going to apply it to the car right under the crease the first time. Hold it until it will stay by itself. And then we're supposed to let it sit for 8 minutes. It's been about 8 minutes. I'm going to put my handle on. I'm going to angle it so the pad isn't right on my fender crease. Well, it's not going to work, so I'll do the best I can. And you screw this on. And you just use your brute force. Twisting and twisting. I don't know if I'll hear a pop or... Whoa. Okay, it did pop. Alright. Take it off. And now we have our little plastic tool here. Basically peel it off. I think it did make an improvement. I'm going to probably have to do it a few more times though. Made a slight improvement. Let me work on this for a while. My dents on my door here, they're literally like totally gone. I'm just pulling them out one more time. It took several tries. There's one thing I want to show you, a little bit scary. I'm going to pull this one off. Make sure you stand aside on the newer cars that have like a composite shell, very flexible. It will actually shoot a few, like several feet away. Let me move out of the way. Okay. I just want, it's like a safety warning. Now, obviously, the more you can screw it down, the harder it's going to shoot. Now, the several tries is because it gets better and better each time. And for side dents, you may want to start with the larger pad. It's going to shoot off in a minute. And then switch to the smaller one. About screwed all the way in. Well, yeah. And there it is, all the way over in the grass. That's probably about 10, 12 feet. It's getting dark out, but these little, I had 2 dents right here. You cannot feel them at all. They're totally gone. The one over here, it is better, but there's still a slight dent on the crease. The instruction sheet does say doesn't work on creases, so it did improve the look. And I think if I have more time later, I might do a couple more spots. Do it a couple more times at top and bottom of the crease. But it did improve it. And on the door in the middle, it's gone. So I hope this is helpful.
Now this is the ELM 327 interface, and so this is the mini. There's a standard and there's mini. This one happens to be the mini because the way that the port is positioned in my car underneath the steering wheel doesn't allow much give, and so if I would have gone with the bigger one, my knee would have been running into the thing and probably unplugging it and or causing damage to the circuit board inside and to the pins rather. And so I decided to go with this mini one. It's been working great. It comes in this beautiful blue color here, see-through, transparent blue. And pretty much what you see is what you get. Paired with your Torque app. Now this is Torque Pro. There is a free app, but this one allows for many more features and many more car profiles. And so I highly recommend that you spend the extra $5 in order to get the Pro version. As you can see, I've created a profile for my Mazda 6, and it's got these little connection lights up here at the top. It says GPS is connected. The phone is connected. It does not pick up on the adapter because it's not plugged in. There's no power source to it. And also, obviously, it hasn't picked up the car's computer yet, hasn't connected with it. So those 2 lights are missing for now, but when we go outside, you'll see those turn on. Hey everybody, so here we are on the inside of my car. And so here's the OBD2 Bluetooth controller, and usually it's underneath the steering wheel. It is right here. And I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. I do have my car on. I'm now going to turn on the phone here and go over to what I explained earlier, the Torque Pro app. There's a free version, like I said, but this is the paid version. It's got plenty of other goodies that you'll probably end up wanting. To pair it, the standard one should be 1, 2, 3, 4. If not that, do 0, 0, 0, 0, or I've heard that 6, 7, 8, 9 also works. So mine happens to be 1, 2, 3, 4. You end up pairing it. Up here is the area where it shows what's connected. So right now it's searching for GPS. It knows that the phone app is connected, knows that the adapter is connected, and it's now registering the car. Profile doesn't actually show up automatically. You have to enter the profile yourself by going into the menu, vehicle profile. I've got it set up with the my car is a 2.3 liter 4-cylinder car with, I looked up the weight of my car so it knows when it's traveling, it knows how to calculate the miles per gallon that it's using. So everything except the GPS is working, and I believe that's because that's on the Android side. So I'm going to go ahead and activate that so it finds it. Go back into the app. and now it's locked on that quickly. So you get a few features here. You can check faults and clear them from this menu here. Do real-time information from the red icon here. Map view to see where you are, where you've been. It shows you a history of your locations when the adapter has been installed. This is the track recorder, something I installed after the fact. It doesn't come with the app, but it's free, and so it's one of the plugins you can install. It's real information you can gather. Now all of these menus that I'm setting you up, and see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screens. These are all customized by me. I've added these with what's called widget. This is a widget area. I've added all these widgets for easy viewing, and so this is my main screen with a clock and engine load. As you can see, my engine is a little higher than normal. Usually what I've heard is that at idle, which is what I'm at now, it should be between 15 and 20%, but I do have the AC on, and so that may be a factor. And so going forward, this does switch when you rotate it. So if you've got something like a one of these mounts on your car, you can easily just, you know, picture glancing right over at it. Works well also if you're recording, gets the front view. So engine load gives you here a quick stats of everything. Acceleration is at 0. Intake is a 6.2 psi. Fuel is at 94.5%, which you can see there, it's almost full. So it calculates your fuel. Coolant is at 177 degrees Fahrenheit. Intake, I already went through that. Revs is at 759, as you can see there. If I rev it up, here, let me get on the rev screen, with the one with the big dial. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm gonna attempt to show you as they climb. It's pretty instantaneous. So as you can see there, the data is transferred fairly quickly through Bluetooth. So that's just some of the things you can do. You can calculate several things, make sure, and you know, if you've got any check engine lights on, you can see what the problem is. I was over at my parents' house the other day, and they had a check engine light turn on, and so I installed it in their F-150 and ran this procedure, going up to Fault Log Manager, go to refresh, and it pulls in any faults that may be wrong with your car after it loads them. And it pretty much showed that that the gas cap was either not on properly, this is with my parents' car, not on properly, or was missing altogether. And so I go back there and I check, and sure enough, the gas tank was, she ended up leaving the gas cap at one of the gas stations, so I ended up tracking it back and getting it back for her. The attendant was nice enough to, you know, store it away. And so anyway, it says right now I've got a powertrain air, coolant thermostat, below thermostat regulating temperature. I'm not really sure what that means, but, and I'm sure most of you don't know either. So when you click on it, you can then go to web lookup, and if you've got an internet connection, it'll show you a little bit more detail of what that specific fault entails. And so then when you go to a mechanic, you can say, hey, this is what's wrong with it, this is the code it's popping up, I need that fixed, or that, or this fixed, you know. So you're not